Are you thinking about landing on a Sony mirrorless camera? You're in the right place. Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thomas Love here from Lake Como, Italia, and today I'm talking to all of you who landed on Sony already or they're thinking about buying a Sony mirrorless camera, because it is exactly the point where I am at right now. Now, I have never been so much convinced by the alien technology which is integrated in each and every Sony mirrorless camera. As for the initial Sony Alphas, I know the 6000 series convinced so many people. I know that the market share from Sony is increasing as we speak because they have so many different products and so many different features, so they can please almost everybody. But I was in for the image quality. And this is the reason why I started this very channel 2 years after I was using my Leica Q2, because I wanted to master every single facet of that camera, especially while teaching street photography, so that I could pass it on to you. So we saw together many different scenarios. I shot with the Leica, and then when the Pixie arrived, I was shooting black and white raw from the hips with the rangefinder camera, and then eventually I switched to Lumix. Why is that? Because while I was teaching street photography, I needed to answer some requests from shooting interior, and so I started shooting the veterinary clinics in British Columbia, and I didn't have the camera because 28mm from my Samilux in the Q2 was not wide enough, and so a friend of mine started lending me the Sony A7R Mark III paired with the Zeiss 18mm, and I loved that combo. I have to say, Sony started having a little space inside here, and I was starting appreciating the brand because it was not the latest technology. The Sony A7R Mark III is a bit outdated as we speak right now, but I started appreciating the ease of use of that brand. And now, guys, we also have the further development. So now the AF tracking, which is legendary, has been paired with the AI processing chip, and so now you don't have to get worried anymore whether your bride or the people in your videos are in focus, because you can totally rely on the camera. And so after I tried the best image quality with the Leica and the best stable in the business with my Lumix S5 Mark II X, which I loved, and with the latest iterations and software updates you can use without a gimbal for the run and gun shooting in 4K 60p and with a bit of a crop, now I am landing on Sony. I want to tell you a story about how I am arriving to Sony, because I never had it as a target, honestly, but it just happens, and it's a story of friendship, and it's a Canadian story, so sit back and relax. When I was teaching street photography, I happened to meet a lot of people. This person in particular, I will not tell his name because he doesn't want to, so we'll call him Mr. X, was so kind that he was lending me the Sony A7R III and many lenses so I could test them and also fulfill my channel by testing these Sony cameras that he was using. And at a certain point he showed up with the Sony A7C Mark II, so I started asking him, did the video bug bite yet? Because that camera is more positioned towards video production. The 33 megapixel, it's in between the resolution you normally need for photography if you want to reframe in post, and if you want to shoot video, the low resolution like A7S III, which only has 12 megapixel, but still gives you enough space if you want to shoot videos in low light and if you want to reframe in post when you're shooting stills. So I was curious about it, and it's so compact and lightweight, and I started using it. So if you missed those episodes, please find them up here. There is one when I was going around run and gun videos and street photography with the A7C Mark II paired with the 28mm from Sony f2, and I loved it so much. And so now that he's willing to sell that camera because definitely the video bug didn't buy it. This guy is passionate about astrophotography, so he is one of the few fellows who would spend the night shooting at the stars and then post-processing and showing you very good images of galaxies far away, so that you will be aware of something that otherwise you will never have the chance to see. So this guy is not into street photography and into video, and then he wanted to sell this camera. And I have to say, the camera market in Canada is not so much helping you, and so if you want to sell used despite mint conditions, they will not pay that much. So he called me and said, do you want it? And I said, oh yes, why not? As you know, guys, I'm here for the longest Italian summer. I was using a small 1-inch sensor Lumix because I wanted to be pocketable, lightweight, super teeny tiny sensor and camera. I was starting struggling because the contrast AF was not as good, because the auto ISO are not there. And so with no auto ISO, yes, I can use it for interior, for my talking head, but then outside you constantly have to double check and adjust the ISO, the f aperture. It's a struggle, and so I was not happy with that, because downsizing too much sometimes is just too much. So here you can see this camera in between the Q2 and A7R Mark III, and it's smaller than all the other ones, and it is as small as the Lumix S9. That is probably the smallest full frame camera money can buy, but it doesn't have an EVF, while here in the A7C Mark II there's an EVF despite super tiny and on the corner, but that's enough if you want to shoot in strong light situations like an Italian summer. So guys, I am testing it out. I am still awaiting it to be delivered. I don't know if I had to follow the suggestions from that very famous song by South Park and blame Canada for the delay in delivery, but the package is now stuck at the customs in Italy, so I am really impatient to get that camera and to start trying using the AF tracking, because when I was in Vancouver I only had it in my hands a couple times. I'm relying on my old habits, and so every time I had to pick up one of these cameras I was always going for the Sony A7R Mark III, and so this A7C Mark II will be the new generation one lens only, because with 33 megapixel I will be able to stick to my core and use it with one lens only, and let you know and show you if the stable is good, if the AF is good, if the battery is good enough, if the video capabilities are good enough. I will start recording videos in S-Log3. I was using V-Log on my Lumix and S-Cineton. What are the differences? So on and so forth, guys. Stay tuned, because a long journey is about to begin, and it will be a Sony journey despite not planned. I am welcoming it with so much joy. So with that, I hope you got some value out of this video. If you did, please remember to like it, share it on your social media, subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any videos to come, and I guess I will see you later. Thank you. Bye bye.